descending limb of loop of Henle, ascending limb of loop of Henle, thick ascending limb of loop of Henle, and from this part, this is distal tubule, collecting duct. These are the parts of nephron. Okay, and this is the afferent arteriole, and this is glomerulus, and this is efferent arteriole. Okay, so blood is flowing from here. So normal osmolarity we know is 300 milliosmoles per liter. Okay, 300. This is the normal osmolarity. So the filtrate that is coming from the Bowman's, so the glomerulus to the Bowman's capsule is also 300. So the fluid that is surrounding here, in the interstitial space surrounding the tubes, it is also 300. 300. The fluid that is coming inside the tubes is also 300. 300. So everything is 300 normally. Okay. Now let's try to understand. This is a normal situation. Try to understand the situation of dehydration. What happens in a dehydration? Okay. So what happens in a dehydration? So the moment a body enters to the state of dehydration, our body will try to conserve water. Number one is by ADH function. Number two is the countercurrent mechanism. So what is this countercurrent mechanism? Please try to understand this thing. And if you don't understand, let me know. So first thing is that you should know before starting the countercurrent mechanism that this part, okay, this is thick as, alright, wait. So when the fluid comes here through the proximal tube, here 65% of water is reabsorbed. 65% of water is reabsorbed. 65% of water, okay. Then when this fluid comes, because here even the water is reabsorbed, even 65% of all the sodium, chloride, calcium, everything is reabsorbed in a same proportion. So the fluid still remains in 300. Because if we absorb only the water portion, the concentration will rise. 300 will become 400. Or if we only take out the solutes, the osmolarity, the concentration will be diluted. So 300 will become 200, right? But here in the proximal convoluted tubule and proximal straight tubule, everything is absorbed in a proportionate manner. So 65% of water, 65% of solutes are absorbed, and the osmolarity of this tubular fluid, okay, it is not yet urine. Urine is also only formed here at the last portion. We call it urine. We still call it tubular fluid. So this tubular fluid is maintained at 300, right? This is normally, and normally this part, the thick ascending limb of loop of Henle, it is very permeable to water. So plenty of water is reabsorbed here. Okay, and normally this part, thick ascending limb, it is impermeable to water. It is impermeable to water. Impermeable to water. This part, water is not reabsorbed. Only sodium and chloride can be reabsorbed. Sodium chloride can be reabsorbed here. Okay, so you have to remember this thing. In a normal nephron, the descending limb of loop of Henle is permeable to water, and ascending limb of loop of Henle and thick ascending limb are impermeable to water, where only sodium and chloride or electrolytes are absorbed. Right? Okay. So normally there is a 300, everywhere 300. Surroundings is 300. It maintains a equilibrium. Okay, there is a balance of 300. In the surroundings, in the interstitial is 300, tubular fluid is 300, everywhere is 300. That is the normal happy days. Now you are gone to a dehydrated condition. Now what happens? So whenever the body needs to conserve water, the first thing what will happen? First thing is that there will be increased sodium and chloride absorption here. Okay, there will be increased sodium and chloride absorption. So this absorption of sodium and chloride will increase. Okay, now please pay attention. So sodium and chloride are increased whenever there is dehydration through these channels, right? So as soon as the sodium chloride content increase, this 300, which is the osmolarity, means this part will become more concentrated, right? It will become more concentrated. So it will become from 300. Let's example. So just for example, it was before 300. Okay, and I have added 100 sodium chloride just to make you understand. Let me give you a number. So 100 sodium chloride are reabsorbed here. So immediately when the body goes in a dehydration, first thing that happens is the first step is reabsorption of sodium chloride. Okay, first thing that is reabsorption of sodium chloride, where at the thick ascending limb. That's number one. Thick ascending limb of loop of Henle. So first thing, number one is that sodium chloride will be reabsorbed. Let's say 100 sodium chloride has been reabsorbed. It means what? This concentration at this interstitial part, the surrounding part will be increased. So this, let's say this will become now 400 because of 100 plus. So 300 plus 100, it will become 400. Right? It has become 400. Okay, if you don't understand, let me know. Okay, you can stop me in the middle. Now this medullary interstitial part, this surrounding part, it has become 400. The equilibrium has lost, right? So every time a new fluid is coming from the glomerulus, new filtrate, comes with 300. So now this 300, which is the new amount of fluid is coming, this 300, when it passes through this part, when it passes through the descending part, it will. Now listen. So imagine this is a sand collection of 400. This is sand particles, which is of 400. And this 300 milliosmoles fluid is coming here. And this section of this tube is permeable to water. Water can be reabsorbed because there are lots of holes, pores in it. So this sand what will happen? They will absorb water more or not? Yes, right? So more sand is being collected, means more, this is called what we call is a medullary gradient. We don't call it sand, just to make you understand. So medullary gradient. So you are producing a heap of increased sand by producing by reabsorbing lots and lots of sodium chloride. So as a result of it, so this 300 milliosmoles, a new fluid is come. So this 300 ml, now it will lose lots and lots of water. So water will be more reabsorbed here because of this absorption capacity has increased, right? So 300. So this is the fluid, and it was 300, and you have taken the water portion. So this concentration will increase or decrease. It will increase. Okay, so also it will increase, right? It will become more concentrated. So same thing happens. The water is more reabsorbed because of the increased gradient here. This 300 will become, now when it goes to this part, this 300 will become 400. It will become 400 because it has lost the fluid part here. The fluid that comes to the ascending limb has become more and more concentrated because more water is being absorbed. Number 2. So number 1 was reabsorption of sodium chloride. Number 2 is increased osmolarity in tubes. In tubes, right? Okay. Understand, or you have any question? Okay. So it has become 400. Now this same 400 concentration, it will move up. It will be pushed up, and when it will reach here in the thick ascending limb, again 100 is being reabsorbed. So this is the tube, this is the loop of Henle. So this is the thick ascending limb. This is 300, 300, 300. Okay. So first is that there will be sodium chloride will be reabsorbed. So as a result, this 300 will become now 400, right? Because of increased reabsorption. Now because of increased osmolarity here, water will be more reabsorbed. So it will lose, this portion will lose water. So water will be reabsorbed. Where? In the descending limb. As a result, this fluid, when it will come through this part, this concentration will be increased. It will become 400. I'm just giving a number. Now the same 400, when it will come up, again it will from 400, it will more sodium chloride will be absorbed. So from 400, it will give 100 here, and it will, when it will go through the distal table, it will again become 300. So this 400 will now add up. This 400 was already there. So 400 plus 100, 500. It has become 500. So again a new fluid is coming. You have drink water, some blood is again circulating, another new fluid is coming. So more 300, again it will lose water because of 500. Okay, so again it will become 400, and it will become 500. So as a result, though this cycle is going on and on and on, it will go on, and ultimately what will happen? Maximum capacity is that it will become 1200 milliosmoles. Means there will be heap lot of solutes here. There will be enormous amount of medullary gradient. So because of these repeated cycles, there is an enormous amount of medullary gradient of 1200 milliosmoles. That is the maximum capacity of our body. So because of this 1200 milliosmoles, every time the new fluid is coming from the glomerulus, it is coming as 300, and water is being reabsorbed. So this 300 will become 400. Okay, and it will again lose 100 here, again it will become 300. Right? So another 300 is coming, again it will become 400. Alright? So new fluid is coming up, and this gradient is built up. So more and more this gradient is being built up, more and more water is being reabsorbed. So as a result, the urine that comes out is very, very concentrated urine, because this 400, okay, now it goes out, right, in the next fluid. Now 400, this will also, okay, let me make it very, very simple here. Wait. Now let me make it very simple. I just draw the loop of Henle here. Okay. This is one tube. Another tube. I'm just doing the loop of Henle. Okay. Okay, first time 300 comes, and 300, 300, 300. A moment you are in a state of dehydration, everything was 300, you have lost 100 here. 100 solid sodium chloride are reabsorbed, so 100 plus 300, it will become 400. So now this fluid will try to balance it, right? It will try to balance it. Water will be reabsorbed till it becomes equilibrium. So the new fluid that is coming up 300, it will lose water until and unless this 300 will become 350, because it will concentrate it. So 300 will become 350 and 400 will become 350, because water is being moving out and it is making it diluted. Right? It is making diluted. Do you have any questions here in this one?
No, sir.
Okay.
No, sir.
Okay.
No, sir.
Right. Okay, please try to understand. Okay. So 300, 300, 300 going out, 100 gone out, and as a result, this $100 plus $300, it has become $400. Okay, so it is already 300 is there, $100 is being taken back, it has become $400. Now this $300 that is coming out, now it will try to equilibrate, it will try to be equal. So it will lose that amount of fluid that can make this part and this part equal. So water will be reabsorbed here. So water will be reabsorbed till it becomes diluted. Till it will become diluted and it will become finally 350, and the fluid that goes out is also becomes 350 because it has become concentrated. So this part has become concentrated, it has lost water. So the osmolarity has increased to 350, and this part has diluted. So 400 has decreased to 350. Right? So 350, now the new fluid is moving, that is 350. So 350, 350, here it was 350, 350. So again it will lose 100 sodium chloride. So 100 plus 350, it has become 450 now. So new thing is 450. Okay. Now again new 300 is coming up. So new 300 fluid is coming up. and every time you're drinking water, it is going to the Bowman's capsule. So now it will lose water. It will lose water till it equilibrates. It will lose water till they become osmotically similar. So ultimately it will become 375. When the fluid comes out here, it will become 375, and it will 450 will be diluted because water is diluting this portion. So this portion is become 375. So now this 375 will move up, and it will lose 100 sodium chloride. So it will 100 sodium chloride, and 375 plus 100 equal to 475. So again 300 new 300 ml is coming up. It will try to equilibrate. So let's say now it has become, it is 475. So 300 will go, water will be reabsorbed until and unless it becomes all 400. It is trying to balance. So now the fluid that is coming to the top is 400. So 400, it's moving up till again give 100. It will become 300. Okay. So what do you see here? What you see here is this 300 is becoming 400. So as the cycle moves, so this part will increase. The urine that goes out will be also be high concentrated urine. It will be also 1200. It will be also 1200. So as it moves, so as this circle goes on and on and on and on, this 300 will become, when it will go out, it will become 1200. That is the maximum limit of our body. And this medullary gradient will be also become 1200, because it will go on 350, then 450. With the next group of fluid coming, it will become 500, 500, 500, then 600, 600, 600, 700, 700, 700. Means what? Means there is a huge amount of medullary gradient is being made. So more gradient is made, more water absorption is being taken place. More water absorption is taking place. So reabsorption of fluid here is done because of the countercurrent mechanism. This is called countercurrent mechanism. This mechanism is called countercurrent mechanism. Countercurrent mechanism. So when you write countercurrent mechanism, you have to know that number one is absorption from the thick ascending limb. Then number two is losing of water from here. It will lose water till this portion and this portion becomes equilibrium. Okay, and it will go on, and finally what will happen? The final result will be 1200, 1200, 1200, 1200. So you can imagine this water fluid urine that will come out of this collecting duct is 1200 milliosmoles. 1200 milliosmoles means in 1 liter there is 1200 ml. 1200 osmoles we call milliosmoles per liter, means it is super duper concentrated urine. Where fluid is less, solids are more. 1200. So whenever there is any dehydration type condition starts, our body starts this countercurrent mechanism by starting igniting the thick ascending limb. Okay, this thick ascending limb starts absorbing sodium chloride. As a result, what will happen? As a result, the salt mountain here is increased. So when the salt mountain, the sodium chloride mountain is gradually increased in the surrounding, more and more water is being reabsorbed. So, and as a result, this tubular fluid, this fluid also becomes highly concentrated. This part is also highly concentrated, and water is preserved because of this countercurrent mechanism. Okay. Now there is another thing, that why this countercurrent mechanism is not being washed away, because there is blood vessels here. Because we know there is a blood vessels, which all surrounded by blood vessels. They are blood vessels, so they need to be absorbed. Blood vessels, these solids will go inside the blood vessels, and this medullary gradient will be washed away. You are making a salt mountain and a sand mountain, sand castle, and every time the wave comes, it will wash away. So why you don't like that? Because nature has done something very protective and amazing, that in the medullary pyramids, in the medulla, if you remember, this part is called, top part is called cortex, and the pyramids are there. So this part is called medulla. Inside portion is the medulla. And there are two types of nephrons, right? Some nephrons are present here, cortical nephrons, and some present are juxtamedullary nephrons, which are here. So in the juxtamedullary nephrons, the blood vessels that goes here, they are also coiled like this, which is called as vasa recta. Okay, the blood vessels are also coiled. So whatever the solutes are reabsorbed, so suppose the blood is flowing from here, and during the time when the blood is flowing here, lots and lots of sodium chloride are being reabsorbed. But when the blood moves up and going out towards the renal vein, then lots and lots, all this sodium chloride that is being reabsorbed, they are being thrown back, they are being secreted back. Okay? So there again, the sodium and chloride here again is reabsorbed back. So whatever they absorb, they are being thrown back. Whenever this countercurrent mechanism is operating, so this medullary gradient is kept at a constant amount because of this loop of the blood vessels. So anatomically the loop of Henle is also like that, and surrounding them the blood vessels are also like that in the juxtamedullary nephrons. Means what happened? What's happening here? This is the nephron. Okay, this is the nephron, and these are the blood vessels. The blood vessels are also in the loop. So whatever sodium chloride they are reabsorbing from the medullary institution, they are just again pushing it back while going back. So this is these capillaries are called vasa recta. So because the capillary is also in the surrounding vena, so they are also preserving the medullary gradient. So to reabsorption of water by the kidney is possible only if you can make a good mountain of sodium and chloride in between the tubes. Then only it can be water can be reabsorbed back and urine can be concentrated. As a result, water is preserved. Otherwise, person will go on losing water and water. Any questions till here? Okay. Then I move to the third part. The third part is the role of urea here. There is another thing added to the countercurrent mechanism is urea. So this is the Bowman's capsule again, proximal tubule, loop of Henle, descending limb of loop of Henle, ascending limb of loop of Henle, thick ascending limb, distal tubule, collecting duct. Okay, so this is collecting duct, distal tubule, thick ascending limb of loop of Henle, thick ascending limb of loop of Henle, descending limb of loop of Henle, proximal tubule, Bowman's capsule. These are the parts of nephron. And so what happens during countercurrent mechanism? We have produced a salt mountain here. This is of 1200. We produced a salt mountain, 1200. Okay, we have produced a medullary gradient all around it, salt mountain, 1200. So now this has produced 1200. Urine is also concentrated. Urine that is going out is 1200 milliosmoles, very concentrated, and the gradient is concentrated 1200. Okay, this is the maximum that nephrons can do. And what happens? Now, every time you are eating protein or you are in your diet, what comes? Urea comes. Okay, this is the glomerulus, and this is efferent arteriole, afferent arteriole. So urea comes. So most of the urea they are reabsorbed here. Urea are reabsorbed. Here and also here in the collecting duct, ureas are reabsorbed. So plenty ureas are reabsorbed. So this urea also make up this medullary gradient. They also contribute in this salt mountain. They also give some contribution. So whatever urea is coming to the tube, some urea, most of the ureas are reabsorbed here in the collecting duct, and so urea come here and then it will recycle. It is again absorbed here in the loop of Henle. So ureas are coming from here, again it is reabsorbed. It is making a cycle. Okay, so 75% of urea are going into the urine, and 25% of urea is contributing to this salt mountain. Because once you make the salt mountain, then only you can absorb water. Okay, if you want to Now, suppose there is a tube here, a semi-permeable tube with a semi-permeable membrane. I put some water and I want to absorb the water from outside. What will I do? I put some salt on the sides so that it can soak water. So I made a salt mountain contributed by sodium chloride. Now I want to make this mountain strong. So I have also, there is also in our nephrons, there are some holes where urea can be also reabsorbed. Though urea is a waste product, it needs to go out in the urine, but there are some amount of urea which can be reabsorbed from this cortical collecting duct, and they also contribute to the whole lot of this medullary gradient. So we don't need to worry that what will happen if urea stay in the body, because this urea don't stay in the body for a long time, and after some time they are again reabsorbed back. They are being absorbed here. They are being resecretion. We call it secretion. They are being secretion back into the loop of Henle. So this is a urea cycle. So we call it urea cycle. Okay. So this urea also contributes in it maintains the osmotic gradient. So why I am telling you this? Now let's say a person has an edema. So edema person means collection of water. Okay. So if a person has edema and if you have advised him to eat protein meal, means what I'm trying to say, let's say that edema patient has consumed a lot of protein meal. A person has edema, swelling of hands, swelling of legs, then usually we say don't take any protein meal, strictly go for vegetarian food. Okay, because there is a reason behind it. Whenever there is swelling of legs, swelling of feet, there is some fluid collection in the pleura, in the pericardium, we say don't eat non-vegetarian food or don't take any protein meal. Why? Because more you will take protein, more urea will come. More urea will come, more this mountain will be there. So more mountain will be there, more water will be preserved. Right? Now this is a case of edema. We don't want to preserve water, we want to lose water. Okay? So if someone is having edema and he is taking a lot of protein, then he is conserving a lot of water. So it will just aggravate the case of edema, because he already have plenty fluid in his body, which we are trying to lose. Do you understand? That's why in edematic patient we say don't take salt. Okay? Any person, if I have a swelling of abdomen, like case of ascites, when lots of extra fluid is collected, I will tell him that look, don't take any salt. Why? Because we don't want to make any more salt mountain here. Second thing, I will tell him don't take any protein. Why? Because more protein, more urea, more mountain will be solidified. So in other words, in a case of dehydration, eating of protein is good, because if you take protein, more urea will come, more urea, more water preservation. So body will not lose much water when the protein is adequate in the body. Okay, but if already body has lot of water, then we'll restrict our protein diet. Okay, so in a kidney patient, that's why in a kidney failure patient, protein diet needs to be monitored. So how much protein the kidney patient should take. Okay, if he is not able to preserve water, if his nephrons are not able to preserve water is free in flow, we will ask him to take some protein, because proteins means more urea. Urea is an end product of protein. You are taking a protein meal, more urea is coming as a waste product. More urea, more mountain, more water reabsorption. So preservation of water is good in the presence of urea. Do you understand? So in a dehydration state, increased protein amount in the blood or increased protein meal is a good thing. But in a edematous case, protein should be restricted because of this urea cycle or urea mountain. Okay, so this is all the things of how our body concentrate the urine. Do you understand this?